What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're doing a huge horror movie haul that we got for all of the month of January. This is a big one, guys. So up front, I just want to give some thanks to a lot of the people who support all of the different channels that we do stuff on. You know, we do the Twitch channel for some games and some more interaction with each other, more one-on-one. We also do the YouTube channel to do some sort of new reviews, unboxing, and Blu-ray and DVD and 4K reviews. We also do the podcast, which if you haven't listened to the podcast, we have an audio podcast that's been running for over 6 years now. You know, we just keep going. But a lot of our supporters have donated money or donated movies, and or I've gone out and bought stuff with the money from the holidays and everything. So I want to give a big special thank you and shout out to Rion, Plemke, and Random for all of your support. I really do appreciate it, and anyone who supports watching any of the content that I put out. It's a lot of work, and I really appreciate it. So let's get into this huge pile here that I don't even know how I'm going to do a thumbnail for this fucking video. First up, we got Final Destination, the 5-film collection. Now, this is funny. I actually went to get this at Best Buy, or I think it was Fry's at the time. They've closed that down. Fry's Electronics in here in Arizona. And they never put this out. But recently I just saw that they did. And I have a feeling that they're probably going to put out a 4K one too. But I'm fine with this. I really wanted to have all of these anyway because these are kind of like a guilty pleasure. These are comfort foods to watch, so to speak. You know, when you just like to see like gore and death scenes and stuff like that. I've always enjoyed the first movie, and the rest of the movies were just kind of fun. You know, this is just like a comfort thing for me that I really enjoy. But I really like Final Destination. I've always liked it. And I wanted to pick this up so that maybe we could do it on the podcast this year. Oh, and I think I picked this up for like $15 on sale on Amazon, by the way. I'm going to try to go through each of these and like tell you what I got them for. I am going to go through these pretty quick because, you know, holy shit, there's a lot here and I have to get through it or this video is going to be forever. So up next, we got Suffer the Little Children, which is a movie that a bunch of kids made in a class, and I think it was the 80s or the 90s. Yeah, it was the 80s, that a teacher put all these students together to make a horror film with their video camera that the school had, and which is just so awesome. I haven't seen this yet, but it is a sort of a shot-on-video horror movie that these kids did. I was told to watch this by Simon Barrett, who went to the Severin Cellar to pick out what he wanted from this, and he told all about this, and I thought, oh shit, I gotta try this movie out. This sounds exactly up my alley. You don't know who Simon Barrett is. He's the guy that wrote You're Next. He also did The Blair Witch, The Guests. He works with Adam Wingard a lot. He even has his own new movie that he just put out last year as a directorial debut, I think, for the first time. So pretty cool guy. I really love his opinions. And he's a self-deprecating guy that's really funny. So thanks for the suggestion. We'll probably be doing this on the podcast. I don't know. Let me know what you want. I think we got this for like $12 on Severin, so some of these I just want you to know I got because they were cheap. This is one of them. Christina got this at the Dollar Tree. So it was $1.25. It's one of the, you know, from the producers of the Conjuring universe. This movie upset me. We did a very deep kind of understanding of who La Llorona is, which is a folklore sort of mythological creature about a woman who drowned her kids because her husband left her and all this. There's a bunch of different stories that are literally all over the world because this is a tale that's not just Mexican, Spanish. This movie really just did not do La Llorona justice, but I picked it up anyway just because it made me laugh at the end. And Christina bought it, so, you know, what am I going to do? For $1.25, I'll have one laugh, you know. Up next, we got Downsizing. This was okay. She got it at the Dollar Tree. We figured we'd have it and just watch it every now and then whenever we want. Not like a favorite film of ours, but just something to watch because we're looking for something to watch. $1.25. This is The Disappointments Room. This is a movie I think that was out in theaters that we almost went to go see, but we didn't. And we got this for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. Not really sure about this movie, but I'll watch it, give it a chance, see what it's all about. We picked this up for that. So up next, we got Phobias, which is a anthology movie that is with a bunch of very lo-fi, costly, like very low budget storytelling. I don't remember hating this, but I didn't really love it. I think I even did a review on the channel here. So I picked it up anyway because we got it for $1.25. So, why not? Dollar Tree. All right, so up next we got another one. This is a triple feature. Now, this has Steve Niles' The Remains. We got Dead Souls, Don't Go Home, and Chilling Visions, 5 Senses of Fear. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about this recently from people, so I was like, you know what? This might not be so bad. It's a triple feature from Scream Factory too. I figure at the very least we get that, and I think it all comes on one disc, so go figure. But yeah, have you seen any of these? Is there any of them that I should jump on, or should I just stick to the Chilling Visions 5 Senses of Fear? Up next, we got Gojira, King of the Monsters on DVD. What better way to watch one of the biggest CGI fuckfests than on DVD? I would much rather have this on 4K, to be honest with you. But, I'm not going to be a dick about it. Up next, we got Z Wants to Play. This was a Shudder original movie that I actually didn't mind too much. It had like a really crazy kind of scary story to it that ends up being sort of like a sad thing. And actually, one of our viewers, Rion, picked this up for us on our Amazon wish list, which very much appreciate. Thank you very much for this. This is like a, hey, I got an imaginary friend kind of movie. It wasn't too bad. I actually kind of liked it, so I figured, hey, it was on sale, and Rion picked it up for me. Thank you.
Joshua, I am speaking to you.
Up next, we got another one from Rion. It is the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch 4K Ultra Edition, which, man, let me tell you something. Look, so this is the hard box that you get with it that I've seen like Arrow do, or, for their box sets. But yeah, they do it for these 4Ks, and I don't know if they were just doing it for a limited, amount of these, but it looks really freaking nice, and I love that it has this hard case. But I popped this in just to give it a whirl and just to see what it looked like. I'm planning on rewatching this. We might do it for the podcast for like halfway to Halloween. I don't know. I really want to watch it sooner than that, but it looks beautiful, Rion. So thank you very much for picking this up on our Amazon wish list, which I'll put a link down below if anybody wants to. We will review this and give you a shout out if you ever buy something on that list. But yeah, I'm super stoked about this. So thank you, Rion. Up next, finally got this Poltergeist in 4K. Now, a lot of people say, oh, this is the mainstream kind of movie, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I really love this movie. This is a great movie. Practical effects. They did a lot of really cool effects in general, visual effects in this movie. And there's just some awesome imagery, as well as a really great, just well-rounded story that's not only funny, it's also scary. Yes, Tobe Hooper did direct this. I found out he actually really did direct this whole thing. It's just got a lot of money that Spielberg had, and they threw it at it. So anyway, I think this is a fantastic movie. Every time I watch it, I like it. And to be honest, I like all 3 of the movies. So, but having this on 4K, it looks fantastic. I can't wait to watch this again. I think I bought this with some of the money that Rion gave us. So thank you, Rion. And I got that for $20. Up next, had to get Malignant on 4K. This is one that I absolutely adore. I am a huge fan of this movie. It has grown and grown and grown on me every time I watch it. It's just a lot of obscene, ridiculous fun. It is not a movie for people who will logically try to figure out the fallacies of a movie or something like that. This is meant to be a so bad it's good movie with a big budget, and I think this is the fuck you money that Wan got. James Wan actually helped write and direct this. I think he directed it. But the same same people did Megan, you know, and I'm kind of like digging this like new style that they're doing because it's kind of like a wink and a nod towards the 80s and some so bad it's good stuff. So really liked it though, and I think I picked this one up for myself, yeah, for like $15 or something like that. Up next, bam, we got Everything Everywhere All at Once, and if you haven't seen this movie, this is the 4K version, of course. It comes with a sleeve and everything like that. Not a horror movie, but it is a fantastic movie. It has won a lot of awards. It is one of the most emotional roller coaster rides that you will ever take as a human being. If you have family or, I don't know, man. It's an instant crier, but it's also really fun and heartwarming, and there's some really interesting and heartwarming performances in here. If you're a human being with a heart, this is a really great movie. If you don't like stuff like that, that's a little touchy-feely, don't. But this is some of the wildest, mind-bending shit. If you haven't seen this, this is essentially about people tapping into other dimensions to use their skills from those dimensions in the current one. So it's kind of like that Jet Li movie, only they didn't have to kill each other's versions. Although one of the characters in this movie is trying to kill every version of somebody in this movie. So it really gets kind of wild, and it's like a comedy written by the people who did Swiss Army Man, who made a movie about a farting corpse that made you cry, and this one makes you cry even more. So yeah, this is something else, man. I think I got that one for $20 as well. Up next, we got Savage Land. This is a movie that is a sort of faux documentary, sort of found footage-y kind of thing about this guy who is in Texas in a border town. Some bad shit starts happening. He visits this town with his camera and was taking pictures, and suddenly it becomes apparent that there is some like ghouls or zombies or people chasing him, and all they have is the footage of his camera taking pictures and occasional videos that he got with his camera. Really interesting kind of story that they tell. This was like from 2006 or something. No, this is 2018, but it feels older than that. I don't know why, but yeah, we watched this. We actually really liked it. I wish there was a Blu-ray of it, but I wanted to keep it because I feel like this is one of those movies that'll just disappear one day and you'll never hear anything about, but it has some value and you should check it out. If you like found footage and like faux documentaries that are kind of scary and make it seem really real, this is one of those ones that you might want to check out. Oh, I got this for $10 on Amazon, by the way.
But then the photos emerged. It changed everything that we thought about.
Up next, we got Rent-A-Pal, which I got this from Hamilton Book with some of the money that Ryan sent us for the holidays. If you're not sure who Hamilton Book is, well, I just made your day because Hamilton Book does a lot of movies that you can get for like $5 or under. They also work with all the different other distribution companies, including like, you know, Vinegar Syndrome and all the boutiques and stuff as well. And sometimes you'll find some of the cheaper deals on all of their movies on their website. But originally they just started off with, you know, just movies that were good but just weren't very popular, and you'll get them for like anywhere from like $1.99 to $5, and you could quickly fill up your collection with a lot of movies. I mean, I think I bought like 12 movies or something like that for like $45 or something. So, but this is one of them. Rent-A-Pal is a very underrated film that was from like a year or two ago that I should have probably mentioned in my top 20, but I don't know why I didn't. It is a really interesting story about a guy who makes friends with a VHS tape. This is sort of like a, you know, hey, feel better about yourself, put on this tape and everybody, I'll be your best friend. Well, he actually gets this like psychosis with this character on the screen who is played by Will Wheaton. That's right. Yeah. And man, the guy's performance in this is really good. Will Wheaton's performance is really good in there. And it's like he starts talking to this friend and the friend starts telling him to kill and shit like that. So it's wild. It's really kind of surreal at times. Very different movie, but I really enjoyed it. And I got it for really cheap on Hamilton. So somewhere between $5 or less on this one. Good deal. Up next, got this for like $2, which is a Danny McBride story. called Arizona, about this guy who tries to take over this woman's house in Arizona. It's like a really dark comedy. We always, of course, since we live in Arizona, we always like stuff like this anyway, because I don't know, it's just something like Raising Arizona. We like that movie as well. But it's a great movie, but this one's an okay movie. It's actually pretty funny. There's some really dark moments in it, and we really enjoyed it. We wanted to get it on 4K, but I saw it for $2 on Blu-ray, and I was like, you know what? Who gives a shit? I don't need this. This doesn't need to be in 4K. So I picked it up, and I thought it was a great deal. Pretty funny. I know some people don't like Danny McBride. I still find some of his stuff pretty funny. So up next, we got The Unborn, unrated, with the nice cover, by the way. They have another cover, which if you can see kind of on the back there, that was like her butt. Anyway, this is one of those supernatural films that, you know, wasn't all that popular. It has some really cool scenes in it, though, even if the movie as a whole is kind of a failure. Like, we're talking 5.5 or a 6 out of 10 at the most. But some of the stuff that they do in here, there's like a scene with this creature in this house, and it makes no fucking sense, but it is the coolest fucking thing ever, and it reminded me of The Thing or something like In the Mouth of Madness. And it's just like in this movie, in the middle of it for no reason. And I kind of thought it was awesome in that regard. Saw a scene from this movie, just happenstance, and I had to watch it again. I remember watching it and I was like, yeah, it's still bad. For whatever reason, this has some cool scenes. I got it for like $3 or $4. I said, why not? Let's get it. Hamilton book. Up next, we got Demonic from Hamilton book as well, and this was like I think $2 or $3 on there as well. Got a Walmart sticker, so it looks like, you know, their overflow goes to Hamilton book, and they pick up like lots of these. You know, still it's a nice chance to pick up some stuff that maybe you like or kind of don't want to spend money on. This was the movie by the director of Neil Blomkamp, who did, you know, District 9 and a couple other films. This is a movie that I wanted to be really good, and it came out right before Malignant, and there was a lot of comparisons to the two, but this one didn't really do all that well. There was some interesting imagery in this movie, and I figured I'd give it a shot again just to try, just to see what I thought of it, but also just to have another movie of his that might not, you know, get a repress at some point in the future. So I figured I might as well just pick it up. Up next, we got Earthquake, which is an older disaster movie that seems kind of poor timing to watch. I actually was going to pop this on here this week because I like disaster films, but now after everything that happened in Turkey and Syria, I kind of feel a little bad watching this one, I'll be honest. But if you do like disaster films, this is one of them that I vaguely remember. I don't remember being the biggest of the disaster films, like, you know, the Poseidon Adventure and all that other stuff, or the Towering Inferno or anything, but it is one that I figured I'd like to check out again, and I think I got this for like $5 or something like that, or less, and I think it's like $15-20 everywhere else, but Hamilton had it for like really cheap, so I picked it up. Up next, we got Cheap Thrills, which is actually kind of like a really dark comedy with Pat Healy, Sarah Paxton, Ethan Embry, and David Koechner. Whammy! That guy, basically this guy in the middle, who was in The Innkeepers, goes to a bar. He's down on his luck about his life, I think, and his girlfriend or something like that, and this guy makes a bet with him. Hey, if you do this, I'll do this for you, I'll give you money. And he's like, no shit. And then it turns into them kind of like having fun bets and at the bar, and then it turns into them coming back to the house, and things get darker and darker and darker, kind of like a 13 Sins movie, or, you know, like one of those movies that like just goes too far, and he finds out that he's kind of like trapped by these people and doesn't know what he can do, and it just gets really fucking wild. So I really like this movie. I haven't seen it in a while though. Figured I picked it up. It was at Hamilton for really cheap, but about $5 or less.
You're gonna cut off your pinky for $15,000? That's a finger. It's not like it's gone forever.
Up next, we got VHS Viral, the #1 anthology. No, I'm kidding. This one is one of the least liked VHS anthologies that's been out, and although the newest one a lot of people were really not too fond of, I still liked it more than this. But I didn't want to pay $20 for this, and I am a collector, so trying to have all of the VHS anthology. And I have the first two, and I have the 94, I think it was, but I don't have this one, and I got it for like $3 or $2 at Hamilton. I think it has like one short story on it that I actually really liked. But other than that, up next, we got Devil's Gate, which this is an interesting one that had Sean Ashmore in it. And it was about an alien that they capture and they keep it down in the basement. It's a pretty wild story, and I actually really kind of like this one. It does get a little too wild at the end of the movie, but to be honest, I really thought this was a very competent, good sci-fi horror film about capturing a fucking alien. And man, did they mistreat this goddamn thing. And things get worse and worse and worse. But yeah, oh, that's right. Milo Ventimiglia is in this movie as well. Anyway, they all do some pretty good performances in here. It's an interesting, unique, different movie about aliens. If you have never seen one, it is very physical. You know, a lot of these alien movies, they tend to get like a little trippy and stuff. This one I thought was really pretty decent. It's like a 7 out of 10, but it's worth seeing, and I got it for like $4. So, and Hamilton. So, up next, the movie that I actually really liked and was on one of my top lists. A lot of people didn't really get this one. It was creepy, but it changed by the end of the movie in one of those surrealistic ways that, you know, this is like a metaphor about getting old, and people didn't really grab onto this one as well. But there were some people that had this on their top 20 or top 10 for the end of the year that this came out, which I think was in 2020. So yeah, it was on my list. I don't remember where, but I really liked it. I thought it was there's some really good like direction and camera work and scares and weird stuff in it. I liked the message that was in this, and I thought it was really well done. So, but I got this for pretty cheap in Hamilton as well. So should be just thanking Rion for all of these, because holy shit. Up next, we got Teen Wolf 1 and 2. Teen Wolf TOO. So the first one, Michael J. Fox, and the second one with Jason Bateman, which we just did a review of on our podcast. So if you want to check out what we thought of these, you can listen to that episode, which I thought was hilarious. How they have red rockets and just stupid shit. You should be listening to the podcast, guys. I'm telling you. If you don't listen, listen. There's some fun shit. But yeah, I picked this up for like $5 at Hamilton as well. Up next, we got Fire in the Sky, which we just did that, and Extraterrestrial. So Fire in the Sky is like a 90s film that it's like a retelling of a real true experience that this guy had, and it happened here in Arizona. And you know, it's one of those stories that have just kind of always remained in the TV sort of, this feels like a TV movie, but it was a real movie in real theaters. It was pretty damn good, and we actually really enjoyed this movie. It's not super aliens everywhere, but kind of has like the communion feel, and this is one that scared a lot of people. But we picked this up I think for $20, and then I think I got this one for like 10. It's called Extraterrestrial by the Vicious Brothers, who did Grave Encounters, which is like sort of making fun of the Ghost Adventures. They did like a movie, then they came up with a sequel for it, but this is their alien attempt, and it was okay. It's just average. And unfortunately, that's just how I feel about it. But you can check out our podcast on it. It's up before the Teen Wolf one. So we do review these. Isn't that crazy? Up next, we got one from Plemke. Martyrs. This is the umbrella version, which is the Australian label. And man, this is a fucked up movie. Now, I don't think it is the most fucked up movie I've ever seen, but for French films that are pretty extreme, it's pretty up there. It's definitely one that deals with, it's like if Hellraiser was not about creatures and it was about people who worship pain. That's kind of what this is about, and it's got some pretty graphic scenes in it and sort of a pain ideology that like Hellraiser would, like I said. But I know it sounds crazy when I say Hellraiser, but you know, if you just remove the Cenobites from it and then like think about like how these people worship it, it's kind of an interesting thing. And there's some pretty graphic, intense scenes in this. I have never had this. I wanted to see it. There's also a remake that they did of it that came out a few years ago. This is the original. But thank you, Plemke. I'm really excited to do this with Christina. It's been a while since I've seen it, and maybe we'll pair it with the other Martyrs. He just sent those to me in the mail, along with Deathstalker 1 and 2, the double feature from Scream Factory. You guys have no idea how fucking crazy these silly ass movies are. These are sword and sandal action fantasy horror films that were done on a low budget, and man, part 2 is like more of a comedy because they kind of just said, yeah, this is ridiculous. The first one kind of tries to take itself serious. The second one has an adventurer that's always wisecracking. They made 4 of these films, by the way, that you can pick up on DVD, but there's only 2. They got a Blu-ray, and this is rare as fuck. Plemke had this in his collection and decided to donate it to the podcast. We will be covering these in the future. We like to kind of go off the beaten path of horror, watch some of these silly adventure movies, so stay tuned. Thanks, Plemke. Up next, this one I'm really excited about. It is the live-action version of Wicked City. Plemke included this in his box of goodies to me, which really made me a super happy boy because I love, and he loves, a lot of live-action Japanese, Korean, Taiwanese, like all these different manga or anime live-action films. We just have like this thing for them because they're just so schlocky and so ridiculous. And this is one that costs like $40 to get on Blu-ray, and it's just one of those purchases that it's like, I like this movie, but it's like, you know, I'm always like, do I want to spend $50 on this movie, like for one movie, or can I get you know, like 12 movies for $50? You see what I'm saying? But Plemke bought this for himself because he's a fan, and then said, you know what, I know Alex loves it, I'm gonna give it to him. This is a wild live action movie about, there's 2 worlds. There's like a demon world, and then there's like the regular world, and there's these cops that handle both sides of the world. So they're kind of like the enforcement and liaisons to keep the peace between demons and human life, so that people aren't breaking laws, and, you know, basically they're trying to coexist in some fashion. And this live action is pretty wild. It's you know, it's not the exact same as the anime, which I also have. Plemke bought for me. Maybe we'll do the anime and this one in the future. We have covered this on the podcast. Maybe I'll do a review of it on the channel and just give you guys a taste of what this wild fucking movie is about. Thank you, Plemke. I really appreciate it. We're getting down there now. I know we're already, what, 37 minutes into this? Recording wise, but I'm trying to hurry through this. Up next, we got Silent Night, Deadly Night Collection. Now, I went ahead and pre-ordered this months ago, like back in, I think it was like the end of October or the middle of October. Yeah, I just got it. Part of a group of buys that I got from Diabolic DVD, which is another really great place that you can go that all the boutiques are on. And, you know, it's just a place that you might want to stop at and find some stuff. They do cheap deals on stuff as well, because usually what happens with these Vestron collections, they've been doing them really cheap, and I don't know what's going on. But if you don't know, Lionsgate owns like a ton of fucking movies that they never put out on Blu-ray, and people were getting pretty mad about it for a while. So they started this Vestron thing and started putting them on this under that label that they bought, and are starting to put them out. But it seems like the web pages and everything have gone defunct. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe you guys can answer me what's going on. They're selling these things for like $12. 3 movies. This has Silent Night, Deadly Night, Better Watch Out 3, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Initiation 4, and Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker. Now, one of these, the one with Bill Moseley with the sort of Frankenstein thing here, is absolutely terrible. I love Moseley, but I don't know what the fuck he was thinking doing this one. He's probably getting a paycheck, so I can't even hate him for that. But that movie's terrible. The other 2, I really like. Those are actually pretty damn good. They're vastly different from one another and from this franchise of 1 and 2, but I had to have this. I had to pick it up, so I did. Very cheap, but I got it really late. So came out in like December, but I just now got it here in January. Speaking of which, another one that just came out at the end of January is Dentist Collection. Came out January 26th. This was another one that was like from Vestron. It's Dentist 1 and 2, and it has, you know, both movies on there about a dentist going around killing people. Very fun movie. Makes you not want to go to the dentist. It is cringy and also dialogue cringy at times. But these are movies by Brian Usna, who's no stranger to a lot of Lovecraft and stuff. He's worked with, you know, Gordon in trading back and forth the Reanimator franchise and quite a few others. So I wanted to get these. And yeah, they finally came with another movie that I got. I think these are both like $12 on Diabolic.
Hold still.
But I got a 4K copy of The Guest, which is Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett doing a really fun movie about a guy who comes over and basically takes over a family's life. It's kind of cool and kind of a throwback, but also kind of just wild and ridiculous. There's a bar fight scene in this movie that's just fantastic. A lot of fun stuff in here. Really good performances. And you can only pick this up from the Second Sight Films, which they did a really big release of this, and I just got the regular one. But yeah, I really enjoy this. Glad to have it on 4K. So, are you a fan? I think I got it for $25 on that one. Up next, just got a new print sent by Imprint, which is another Australian label that is working with Paramount, I think, on this one. There's a lot of controversy on the releases of the War of the Worlds movies, but this is one of the 4K prints. I am not 100% sure. I did some digging around on this. I still have to review this and what I think of the Blu-ray and everything, but I did get it sent to me, and I started watching it, and, you know, it's got some pretty cool stuff, like a book in it. Stay tuned for that one. I'm going to go over this. Apparently, there's a couple of different versions of this movie on 4K or in Blu-ray that cover the wires that you could see in the movie, but I popped this on just to give it a taste to see what it looked like, and honestly it looks really good to me. So if you're not like worried about seeing the wires and stuff like that, I haven't checked it to see if the wires are in this, but this is a really nice fucking release. I mean, it comes in a steel bookcase with, like, you know, it just looks fantastic. I'm personally not affected by the stuff that people are upset about in some of these releases, and this comes with like the original actual radio broadcast, which is the one that made everybody think there was aliens attacking. And I've always found that story kind of fascinating, as well as, like, you know, the Blair Witch and all these other movies like Skinamarink that have come out to like really mess with the world and kind of get them in an uproar, whether it's good or bad. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this out, and I'm really thankful Imprint sent me this. So thank you, Imprint, for giving me a copy to check out and review. I will get you that soon. Down to the bottom here, guys. Up next, we got Mutants, which is a movie that I picked up with some of the money that Ryan gave us. Thank you very much, Ryan. I picked this up for $10 twice. I had to refund one because it was a library copy with scratches all over it, and I was like, fuck no, I'm not going to do that. I'm already pissed that I have to get a DVD copy of this. This is a movie by David Morley. I forget what country it's from, but it is a movie about mutants that spread kind of like a virus, like you would a zombie virus, and it turns people into those fucking wonderful things. And this is a terrible cover, but it's actually a pretty decent movie. Like, we're talking around the 7 range, which are like those movies that you just wish would be just a little bit better, but they still had some stuff in it, maybe some gore in it, some scenes that were really cool in it, or some just you know, vibe about it that you just really liked. And this is one I haven't seen in a while, but I remember really liking it. I didn't own a physical copy of it. I just had like a digital copy of it. And I'm really glad I own this now, because we're going to be watching it next week. Accion Mutante, which is an Alex de la Iglesia film that he did The Last Circus, Witching and Bitching, and quite a few others. But this is the 4K release that Severin had. It sold out instantly. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this in glorious 4K. I will tell you guys all about it in there next week when we watch 2 mutant movies. One is kind of more of a comedy, sci-fi comedy with like horror elements, and then one that's straight up horror sci-fi. But yeah, have you seen these? Are you a fan? Are you looking forward to next week's podcast? Because I would be. Up next, we got Vinegar Syndrome's From Beyond 4K. Now, I'll be honest, this is not my favorite slipcover that they've done. I see what they were going for, but it kind of loses like everything that's in it. It's not terrible. It's just busy. But, you know, I wanted to get the slipcover for it anyway, because this is the original cover, by the way. From Beyond is probably one of my second favorite H.P. Lovecraft sort of modern telling. It is based off the same name From Beyond short story that H.P. Lovecraft did. If you've ever seen this movie, it starts off with this machine that can tap into other dimensions, and they break it because the guy goes crazy and all this wild shit happens. That's essentially the story of the H.P. Lovecraft story. This movie takes it in directions, you know, that Gordon really wanted to take it in. Stuart Gordon, by the way. And yeah, it comes with the Blu-ray. There is like 2 different discs of Blu-ray on here. It has a ton of extras from Vinegar Syndrome on here. It looks, my God, it looks phenomenal. Yeah, I love this movie. My top H.P. Lovecraft movie, we're talking about direct H.P. Lovecraft, otherwise In the Mouth of Madness would be in there, would definitely be Color Out of Space, but this one has always been my number 1 before that. I love this one still though, and it's so great to have it on 4K. Some fantastic performances, wild practical effects, and yeah, Vinegar Syndrome did it up right. I got it for $25.
Humans are such easy prey. Let her go!
Last but not least, we got Dawn of the Dead. This one is one that Ryan picked up from our pile of Amazon wish list. So this is the 4K version of the remake. I honestly think this is not so bad, although I don't know what that is. I don't know why it does that. But this comes with the 4K and the unrated and the rated version of the transfers of on Blu-ray. So you get both Blu-rays and the 4K. All the extras, of course, are on the Blu-ray. They tend to do that a lot. I wish we would be able to fit them all on 4K extras disc, but I guess it just saves them money to put it on Blu-ray. But yeah, we rewatched this. Thank you, Ryan, for getting this from our Amazon wish list. It's a fun fucking movie, one of the better remakes in my opinion. It's always easy to pop on and just have a blast with, and it makes me want to go down and watch all the zombie movies again, you know, like always. So but yeah, thank you, Ryan.
I ever turn into one of those things, do me a favor, blow my fucking head off.
Oh yeah, you can count on that.
That one just came out too, so it was like January 31st. Got it the day of, so far it really is good. Like I said, all the extras are on the Blu-ray, so that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for, you know, sticking around and watching this video. This is gonna be a nightmare to fucking edit, and if you made it this far, be like, I am a hero in the comment section, and whatever else you want to say. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below about any of these picks. If you have more questions about them, I'll be glad to answer them. And a lot of these are going to be reviewed on the YouTube channel or the podcast, so please stay tuned for that. Other than that, thank you guys so much for coming by. I know you guys who watch these videos are the die-hard motherfuckers, so much love to you guys. Thank you for coming by, and as always, long live the void.